What made you decide to become a hairdresser?
It kind of happened by chance. When I was at GCSE level, I actually wanted to go to London College of Fashion. I wanted to do anything to do with fashion. And basically my next door neighbour asked me to go and join a salon and become a salon girl. And when I was there, I just fell in love with it, and I found I had a bit of a knack for it. So from that point of me picking up my first hairbrush, that was it. I just wanted to be a hairdresser, basically.
What's the funniest thing that has ever happened to you at work?
Right, okay, so there's quite a few things that happen at work. There's the two that stand out for me is when I was younger, when I was an apprentice at another salon. They could be quite cool, and they were cruel, not cool, cruel, and they used to like play practical jokes, and luckily we don't do that here, but the one thing that I can actually laugh about now is when back in the days they used to do highlights with caps. They used to put caps on your head and then crochet the hooks out. So they came into me and said, Nat, we really need you to stretch this cap out, we've got a client coming. And I was like, oh okay, so I put the cap on, thinking that I had to stretch it all out, you know, being a 15, 16-year-old girl. And then they're like, oh, can you take the tea out? And I took the tea out, wandered the whole salon with this cap on top of my head. So yeah, it's a bit of a cool joke, but I actually find it quite funny. And recently, which the girls here was that I find it quite funny as well, even though I hurt myself doing it. I was concentrating so much on the client, I was on one of the stools, and I literally went back, my legs went flying. So you can have some funny moments like that. As long as you've got the humour, you can take the mickey out of yourself and fine.
What is the best and worst aspect of your job?
Okay, there's lots of bests, definitely. The best thing about my job is like making people feel fantastic about themselves. I love it when a client comes in and you can see they don't like the hair. They kind of got to the point where they're just giving up. But if you sit down and do a really good consultation and you say, right, this is what we can do, and you do it, and their face when they walk out the doorway is just brilliant, and it really gives you a good vibe. That's what I love about this job. I think the only worst aspect of the job, I'd probably say, is dealing with clients who are not happy. I mean, it's like with any job, you have to deal with the good and the bad, and that's probably the only worst aspect. I'd probably say as well, actually in hindsight, I'd probably say people's expectations and people's kind of way they look at hairdressers as well. So sometimes when you meet people, they're a bit like, so what do you do for a living? They're like, oh, I'm a hairdresser. And they look at you a little bit like, oh, you're just a hairdresser. When actually being a hairdresser, especially these days, you have to be intelligent, you have to know your staff, you've got to be good with people. So actually, you know, I think sometimes hairdressers are up there with your sisters and, you know, your doctors and stuff like that. Probably people would disagree with me there completely, but you do have to have those skills to actually be able to work with the public and know your stuff as well, to make sure you don't muck up people's hair.
What is the worst / most challenging job you've had to do?
I don't think I've ever had a worse job. The most challenging job I probably had was opening up a salon. It was about 10 years ago. I literally had £3,000 in my pocket. It was literally 2 rooms and I had 3 stations. I kind of opened it up not with the realisation about how big it would grow quite quickly. So that was my most challenging, because obviously as soon as you kind of start accepting a lot more clients, you need more staff, and then you need to make sure that you're earning the money to be able to pay the staff, and kind of going forward as a business. And then because you kind of then become a salon, you then need to compete with the other salons and make sure, so that's probably the most challenging thing I've ever done. There's not really a worse job. I mean, I've worked on films before, like I worked on Harry Potter, and I'd probably say with that it was an amazing experience, but again it was challenging because you're working with different people and different skill sets and different expectations. So it was really great with in one hand, but on the other hand it was really hard work. So you would go home absolutely shattered and you wouldn't get paid very much for it. So it's kind of a, you know, to and fro.
Would you recommend hairdressing as a career?
Oh my god, yes, definitely. I think it's one of the most rewarding careers you can go for, really. You get to work with people, the days are never the same, so you never kind of go into work knowing what you can expect. Very creative. You can earn decent money, but you've got to work hard for it.
Why did you choose to use only vegan and organic products unlike other salons?
Okay, so when I opened up the salon, I was completely a traditional colour person, so I used a very well-known brand. And what happened is I had a massive reaction. I basically woke up the next day, my head was stuck to the pillow, I had to go to the doctors, I got an infection, all because I used a specific brand. And funny enough, I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, but that night I had a dream about becoming an alternative salon, basically, you know, using like Veda products, more organic products. And so that's when I woke up and thought, right, I'm going to do it, I'm going to go with my intuition. I researched, and then I started realising what was in different chemicals. And when I looked into the research about how staff can get really sick, and about, I'm asthmatic as well, so about how bad that is in asthma and the skin and compliance, I thought, well, this is a no-brainer really. So I really wanted to build the salon going forward as a non-toxic kind of place where clients can come and just have their hair done, not have to worry about smells, I mean, you do get some allergies still, but it's mostly, you know, PPD allergies, which you can't really avoid, unfortunately, in hairdressing. But you don't have to worry about ammonia, you don't have to worry about resourcing or anything like that. And then I'm really passionate about animals. I don't believe that animals should be, you know, tested on just for beauty products. So it was something that kind of came hand in hand. And it just grew from there, from doing a lot of research and meeting people, and yeah.
If you want to become a hairdresser, where do you start?
Okay, so if you want to become a hairdresser, my best advice would be go to your local salon, go and have a look and see if they're doing any look and learn evenings. Like we're doing a look and learn evening, I think, on the 4th of December. And that's an opportunity to go in and see what people do. So if you love hairdressing, if maybe you play with friends' hair at home, anything like that, just go into your local salon and say, look, can I just come in and have a look and see if it's something that I like? If you're lucky enough to get a Saturday job, go and get a Saturday job, because it's not as easy as what people think. It is really, it's hard work, but it's very rewarding. So that's where I'd start first, to make sure that you know you like it first before you go into it.
Are there apprenticeships?
Yes, there's loads of apprenticeships. It's probably the best way I'd probably advise you going into the industry is doing an apprenticeship, purely on the basis of the fact that you can earn money as you learn, and you're actually in a work environment, so you can get to know the clients, you get to know a real situation, opposed to not being in a real situation and then kind of landing what water and actually come into a salon. So my advice is always going for an apprenticeship.
Do you know any jokes about hairdressing?
Unfortunately, I didn't have a look, I didn't know off the top of my head, but the best one I found so far was, how did the hairdresser win the race? She took the shortcut. And what do you call a good stylist? A sheer delight. Lame, but that's all I could find.